In this video, we're going to take a look at screenshots and screen recordings on the iPhone. We're going to look at how we can capture anything on our display, and when you're using Safari, how we can also capture complete web pages. I'll also show you how you can mark up your screenshots, locate them easily in the Photos app, and if you're using iOS 18 or later, how you can even hide them from your Photos library. All right, let's take a look at screenshots and screen recordings on the iPhone. Now, before we get started, if you like what you see here, stick around to the end. I'll tell you a little bit more about myself and how you can help support my efforts in creating these videos. All right, let's take a look at screenshots and screen recordings on the iPhone. Let's go over to my iPhone. Now, the first thing I want to mention is I am using an iPhone 15 Plus Max here, and as you can see, it does not have a home button on it. Also, this is running iOS 18, so some of the features I'm going to be covering will not work if you're using an older version of iOS. I'll try to point those out when I cover those. All right, so now that you know what I'm using, let's take a look at how we take screenshots. First thing we're going to do is just cover the basics of taking a screenshot. If you have an iPhone that has Face ID like what I do here, the way that we take a screenshot is we need to press in on the side button here on the right, as well as the volume up button on the left. And we do that at the same time. Now, I wonder if you have an iPhone with a home button, what do? Well, instead of pressing in on the volume up button, what we need to do is press in on the home button down here. So if you have an iPhone with a home button, it's these two buttons. If you have an iPhone with Face ID, like what I do, it's the volume up button. So we press those in at the same time. When we do that, what you're going to see in the lower right-hand corner here, or lower left-hand corner, is a thumbnail of the screenshot. It'll show for about 3 or 4 seconds, and then it'll disappear and go into the Photos app. So that's the basics of it. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to take a screenshot of this. I press in on this button and this button. If you had a home button, it would be this button and the home button. So let's go ahead and do that. And you're going to see I have a thumbnail there, and what it'll do is it'll disappear, and now it is in the Photos app. So let's go ahead and open up the Photos app, and when we do, you're going to see that I have my screenshot here. That's basically all we have to do to take a screenshot. But we do have a few more tricks with this. What we're able to do is mark it up when we take the screenshot. We can even send it before it goes into the Photos app and then delete it. So how do we do that? Well, basically what we have to do is go back and take another screenshot. So I'm going to switch to a different home screen here, and we're going to take another screenshot. But instead of waiting for this thumbnail that shows up to disappear, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tap on it. That's what we need to do. We need to tap on it when it is in the lower left-hand corner. So I'm going to take a screenshot again. I press in on the 2 buttons. And now I'm going to tap on this. And now I can go and edit this. What do I mean by edit? Well, if we look up at the top here, you're going to see that we have a number of different tools. I should say edit and share. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go from the right to the left across the toolbar here. Our first option here is share. So if I wanted to send this to someone, all I have to do is just tap on the share button. Our standard share sheet comes up, and I'm able to share this. Once I share it, I'm also able to delete it. I tap on that, and it'll delete the screenshot. It will not be in my Photos app. Next to that, we have our markup. When that is white, that means that it is enabled, and you're going to see that we have a number of different tools down at the bottom. Now, if I tap on this button here, you're going to see that these tools here will disappear. So I'm going to tap on it, and now they disappear. I tap on this again, and they show up. So now what I'm able to do is draw on the screen. So I select my tool down here. We're just going to go with this marker here. So I tap on it. From here, I can select the width, and I can select the opacity. If I want to select the color, I go and tap on that little color wheel there. So I'm just going to keep it at white. So now I'm able to just draw on the screen, and we can see I drew on the screen. So I can draw an arrow there. And then if I wanted to share this, I could share it. And then once I'm done sharing it, I can go and delete it. Now, next to that, we have undo and redo. So this is just simple undo. Every time I tap it, it's going to undo what I did, and then I tap on this one here, it'll redo it. And then our last option over here is done. This actually has more options. It's not going to just close the window. Let's go ahead and tap on it and take a look at it. From here, I'm able to save it to my Photos app, so I can mark it up and save it to the Photos app. I can also save it to my Files app, so it's like saving it to the Finder on the Mac. And then I can save it as a quick note or to a quick note in the Notes app. Now, my favorite feature, the one that I use on a regular basis, is copy and delete. I mark it up, and then what I'm able to do is copy this, and then it'll delete it at the same time. So now that it's copied, I can go into a message in the Messages app and paste it. I could go into the Notes app and paste it into a note. I could paste it into an email. So that's why I really like this. It makes it really simple. With one tap, I can copy it and then delete it. And then I go back to the app that I want to paste it into, and I can paste it in there. So that's my favorite tool here. And then, of course, I can just delete the screenshot. So let's just save this to my Photos app. Tap on it. It's saved to the Photos app. So when I go into my Photos app, we're going to go over here, and you're going to see that I have my screenshot with the markup. I tap on it, and we can see that it is marked up. If I wanted to mark it up further here, I'm not going to go into the whole thing of what Photos can do, but you could go and mark this up further by going into Editing Tools down here, and then you're going to see that we have our markup tools in the upper right-hand corner, and then I can mark it up again. So you can also mark it up in the Photos app as well. So that's how we can take a screenshot as well as mark it up. Now, what about web pages? I mentioned in the introduction that we can also save web pages. How do we do that? Well, we need to go into Safari. As far as I know, this only works with Safari, so this won't work with Chrome or any other browser. So I go to Safari here. I go to the web page that I want to take a screenshot of. So I'm at this web page here. This is in Wikipedia, and I'd like to take a screenshot of this. Now, instead of just taking a screenshot where it's going to cut it off here, what I would like to do is I would like to have the entire web page. Well, we can easily do that when we're on the iPhone. All we have to do is take a screenshot again, and then we tap on the thumbnail when it shows up in the lower left-hand corner. So I'm going to take a screenshot, press in on the two buttons again, and then I tap on the thumbnail, and I'm back at where I can mark it up. But being that this was taken in Safari, you're going to see that we have another option here, full page. So right now, it is just a screenshot of what was on the display. But when I tap on full page, watch what happens. I get the entire web page. And then from here, what I'm able to do is save this to my Files app. So I could swipe up here, save it to my Files app. It'll save it as a PDF. I can also go over to Done, and I can save this PDF to my Files app. And then I'm able to access it as a PDF. So if you're using Safari and you want to take a screenshot of an entire web page, you can do that. You just have to tap on the thumbnail after you take the screenshot. Outside of that, it works pretty much the same. If I wanted to delete this, I could delete it. I'm going to save this over to the Photos app. And now, when we go back over to my Photos app, you're going to see that I have that screenshot. And there it is, because I took the entire web page. So I could double tap on this, and I can read that entire web page. So in addition to just taking a screenshot of the display, we can also take a screenshot of an entire web page. Now let's take a look at videos. How can we take a video of our display? Well, basically what we need to do is we need to go to our control center. So this is an iPhone 15. So what I need to do is I just need to swipe down from the upper right-hand corner. So I swipe down, I'm at my control center. And being that I'm using iOS 18, I have a number of different controls here. The one that I'm looking for is this one right here. This is the record. Now, if you do not have that, what you'll need to do is you'll need to add that. To do that, what you do is you just tap on the plus here in the upper left-hand corner. And then what you're able to do is add a control. So I tap on add a control, and I would search for recording. So I just go here to recording, and you're going to see screen recording here. I tap on that and it'll add it. So we want to add that to our control center. As you can see, I do have it added to my control center, so I don't have to add it in there. So all we have to do now is just tap on this and it'll start recording. So I'm going to tap on it, and we can see that it is recording up here. We have a little countdown. I swipe up, I swipe over. It's just recording my screen. When I am done, I tap on the dynamic island there because I have an iPhone 15, and I'm able to stop it. Tap on stop, and now it saved it. Where did it save it to? Well, the Photos app. So when I go over to my Photos app, you're going to see that I have my video here. And when I tap on it, I can see that video. So that's how we can record a screen recording. And we can see that it's going through everything that I stepped through there. All right, now let's take a closer look at this Photos app. Now this is going to be primarily iOS 18 and later. So it's in my Photos app, but you're also going to see that when I close this, it's in my main library here. Well, I want to hide that from my main library. I don't want to see these screenshots or screen recordings in my library. How can I do that? I don't want to delete them. I just don't want to see them in that main library. Well, in order to do that, what we need to do is we need to go to the library. So I just swipe down and I'm in my library. How do I know? We just see these tools here. So I swipe up, those tools are going to disappear. So I'm no longer in the library. I swipe down, they show again. I have these tools. Now what I need to do is tap on the sort and filter button. That's what this is. Tap on it. You're going to see view options here. And under view options, what I'm able to do is hide and show the screenshots. So it's on by default. I want to hide the screenshots. So it says show here. So what I need to do is I need to make sure that this is unchecked. So I just tap on it. And it is no longer checked, so it is not going to show my screenshots in the library. And if we look here, you're going to see that they are no longer there. Now you're going to see that I still have my web page here. That's because that is technically not a screenshot. Remember I said it changes it into a PDF? That is not a screenshot in the technical sense. So it doesn't hide that. But all of the other screenshots are hidden, including my screen recordings. So now where can I find those? Maybe I do want to see those. I don't want to have to go to this button here all the time to show and hide them. Well, there's a collection that we can view. When I swipe up here, we have a number of different tools here. We have a lot of different options here with iOS 18. Well, one of the options here is media types. And when I tap on media types, what I'm able to do is select screenshots. And when I tap on that, I can see all of my screenshots. So we're still able to see them. We just have to go to our media types. And then if you really want to get fancy, what you could do is go to your pinned collections here. And when you tap on modify, what we're able to do is add screenshots there. So I'm just going to move this up. I just drag it up to the top. And when I'm looking at my pinned collections here, the very first one is my screenshots. So we are able to modify this. So that is how we create screenshots as well as screen recordings on the iPhone. If you have an iPhone with Face ID, you press in on the sleep wake button and the volume up button at the same time. If you have an iPhone with a home button, it's a sleep wake button and the home button at the same time. When you do that, you'll see a thumbnail pop out from the lower left-hand corner, and then it'll disappear, and that screenshot is saved to your Photos app. And that's all you really have to do. If you tap on the thumbnail, what you're able to do is mark up that thumbnail as well, or mark up that screenshot. And then if you use an iOS 18, you can also hide your photos, your screenshots from your photo library. So that is how we create screenshots and screen recordings on the iPhone. Now, if you found this video helpful, what you may want to do is like the video. You can subscribe to my channel. You can also share it with your friends and family. In addition to that, if you want to help support my efforts, you may want to check out danstutorials.com. While I have over 400 videos on YouTube, I have a lot more on danstutorials.com. It is a membership-based site. When you become a member, you get access to all of my videos, and I take out all of the ads of the video, so you no longer see any of those ads. I also have an AI assistant modeled after an Apple Genius, and you have access to my classes and webinars, which I hold on a regular basis. And when you become a member, you are also helping support a small business. It is just me in a corner office of my house. I'm not part of some large organization. So when you become a member, you are directly supporting my efforts in creating these videos. Check out danstutorials.com for more information, and thanks for watching.